Hey, this video won't be like the previous Viz video which I made recently, where I talked about actual issues with Viz. Instead, I'll just tell you some of my manga/manga editions, also a little bit of Manhwa, which I really want for Viz, or any publisher really, to release. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First is something that I think a lot of people can agree with me on. A Hunter x Hunter box set. Alright, listen. I know Viz is currently releasing a 3-in-1 omnibus for Hunter x Hunter, but honestly, I hate 3-in-1 omnibuses. Like, 2-in-1s are still pretty good, and have both the quality and comfort of a regular manga volume, like holding it is still comfortable, while having a cheaper price and higher quality for paper. I'm pretty sure. But 3-in-1s are just terrible. I've only really had one 3-in-1 omnibus experience, which was with the Air Gear omnibus, and I hated it. I read through it all, but I doubt I'll ever read it physically again. I really like the story so far, but the physicals are just not it. I'd just much rather have the singles. Also, Hunter x Hunter has more than enough volumes for a box set. It has like 38 volumes, which you could make 2 box sets with right now. Or 1 box set with like 20 volumes, and then a second box set when more volumes eventually, after years, will release. And you know there is a demand for it. Hunter x Hunter is just that huge of a series. Personally, I would definitely collect Hunter x Hunter, but there is no chance of getting the 3-in-1 omnibuses. And collecting the 38 individual single volumes is such a hassle that I'd much rather go on hoping that Viz eventually releases a box set for it so I can collect it much easier and for a cheaper price. Next, another box set. A Shaman King box set. It's an old series, but you should also know that it still has a pretty big audience, because if you search online used Shaman King volumes, you will definitely be surprised. The price also means that there are people that are willing to spend that insane amount of money to get Shaman King. And it's not even for a new set, it's already used. Shaman King is a pretty long series to have just one box set for, as it has 32 volumes, and to my knowledge, the highest volume count in a single box set is the Dragon Ball, specifically the Dragon Ball Z box set, which has 26 volumes. You could also try to make 2 box sets for the entire series, but I'm not sure many people would support that. I'm sure you could think of a way to fix this dilemma. Okay, a personal one now. I doubt many people would also want this one. Mama Yuyu in physical English. I'll do a quick rundown because I'm sure you don't know. Mama Yuyu is a manga that was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump for about half a year before being axed, and is only going to receive a digital English release, which most axed series end up getting. You can interpret this one as an in general axed manga physical release, as there are a lot of people that can and do read all the newest Weekly Shonen Jump manga. Most people get really attached and like a particular series and would want it on their shelves, only for that series to get axed and get an only digital release. If you want to see me talk about this more, check out the Viz video which I made really recent, the first link in the description below. But as for Mama Yuyu, I'll definitely be buying the digital release to support the author and have the series digitally, but I wish there'd be a physical release. You know what? Let's do a few manhwas. First, I need to have the Greatest Estate developer physically. It's so funny. Literally the funniest thing I've seen/read right alongside Konosuba for real. I honestly don't know why publishers are taking their sweet time to publish this one. It's literally the best rated manhwa of all time on my anime list, and it's by a landslide too. And honestly, I agree with this rank. It's not my personal favorite manhwa, but I totally agree with this being first. And it's popular too. It has 178 million total views, and 1.3 million of those people have subscribed to it, which means they get notifications when the newest chapters release on Webtoon. It's fucking popular! Release it, please! Let's do just one more manhwa before another manga. Sweet Home. It's from the same authors of 2 other popular manhwa, one of which is a really, and I mean really fucking popular manhwa. They are the creators of Shotgun Boy. I finished this literally today at the time of writing this script. Pretty good series, the ending was pretty bad though. And Bastard, which is their ultra popular manhwa, currently sitting at pretty much a 3-way tie for the 3rd most popular manhwa on my anime list, behind Solo Leveling Tower of God, but competing for 3rd place with The Breaker and Omniscient Reader's View. And also, as I already said, they're the authors of the series which I really want a publisher to, well, publish Sweet Home. The story is pretty rough because the main character was insufferable, but he had a generational comeback. You just gotta stick it through. I swear he gets better. Oh yeah, Sweet Home is currently the 9th most popular manhwa on my anime list. And to market it better, when you, hypothetically, release it physically, you can market it as from the authors of Bastard, because that does already have a physical release. Although, I was surprised to see that they only started releasing the physicals for Bastard under a month ago, when that super popular manhwa ended just over 9 years ago. You can market it as from the creators of Bastard, as it already has a physical release. Next, another box set. Yeah man, I like in one box sets. What do you really want from me? A Dr. Stone box set. Now, I haven't read or watched Dr. Stone at all, apart from when I read 19 chapters like 3 or 4 years ago or something, and I really liked it, but stopped for reasons that I forgot. And now I really want to continue reading Dr. Stone, but I also really want to have it physically. But getting 27 volumes individually would take way too long and would probably be a lot more expensive than just waiting for a box set to release. Surely. Right? From all the series that I mentioned in this video so far, I think this one is the most likely to happen, as it has a really popular anime which is still releasing seasons, and they are caught up with all the volumes. So honestly, now every time Viz does licensing announcements, I always pray for one thing. That's right, it's Alice in Borderland retry. You should have been able to guess that from all the context clues and stuff. I say that pretending to know what context clues really means. Let's do a short one. GTO. I'm saying this one because I have a friend who has been haunting for years the GTO English physicals. He once saw it in a store, but at that moment, he had no money to buy that volume. Immediately when he had just enough money to buy it, he ran there, but it was already gone by then. But recently, me and that same friend went to kind of an anime merch shop that sells mostly figurines, until we noticed they had one singular stand of manga. It was one of those rotating shelves, so you can say they had like 4 shelves. And to our absolute surprise, they had GTO. The early years. Yeah, they had just one volume of GTO, and it was the prequel, GTO The Early Years, and it was volume 13. They just had a random volume 13. He didn't take it because he only wanted to collect the original GTO series. What I want to say with this one is old series in general. Viz, or any publisher, please give old series reprints. If you search up pretty much any old series that you have licensing rights to online and see what people are pricing very used books and understand that people actually buy those manga for those prices, you'd understand that it is worth giving them a new chance with a new reprint. You remember when Viz reprinted Yu Yu Hakusho and Slam Dunk? Everyone was super happy. Yeah, you might not have a series that are pretty much as guaranteed to sell as well as those two series, but there are definitely people that are still willing to buy your old manga because they won't have to pay 10 times the original price for heavily used books anymore. Oof. Honestly, Viz and other publishers have announced a bunch of manga and a box set, which I would have mentioned in this video if I didn't procrastinate making it for like 7 months if not more. Like, from Viz, they somewhat recently announced 2 things which I would have definitely mentioned here. First is the Hell's Paradise box set. I'm like 97% sure I mentioned this already in another video. If I didn't, essentially, I was so glad that the Hell's Paradise box set was actually announced, because at one point, I really wanted to collect Hell's Paradise. I was about to press the purchase button from where I was buying the volumes from, but I kept holding on to the hope that Viz would one day announce a box set for it. While the desire to collect Hell's Paradise has long since faded, I will still probably collect it eventually. And the fact that they actually announced a box set is really fucking cool. The other series is Kingdom. Yeah, from what I did before, you thought that I wouldn't even mention it, did you? While I haven't read or watched anything from Kingdom, like I don't even really know what it's about, I do know that it's amazing. From what I've heard at least. And at some point, I told myself that if Kingdom ever receives a physical English release, then I will buy the first 2 volumes and give it a shot immediately. And, well, they did announce it. The only series which I can think even kind of rivaled it with the hype that came with its announcement was JoJo Part 7. And even that doesn't even really compare to the hype that I saw with Kingdom's announcement. Then there's Yen Press. Man, are they expensive. But I have to be thankful to them that they are currently releasing my favorite series of all time, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. While I don't know why, and kind of despise them for taking their sweet fucking time to release each of the fucking volumes, I can't really be mad at them for like any amount of time, because they are releasing my favorite series of all time. And if not for them right now, I'd have to wait for so much longer to even get my hands on the first volume. And they're going to be releasing the novel for Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, which I'm also reading, which you just gotta love. Alongside that, another manga, which is actually being memed on as never going to be published in English, was Kindergarten Wars, which Yen Press is also releasing. Sure, they are expensive as fuck, but I'll still definitely be getting it my next manga haul. Not even looking at the individual publishers, there are so many manga that are going to be released officially that are thought to never get an English release. Recently, Baki was announced, which was a huge deal. In the newest Viz serialization round, they announced that they're going to be releasing Dragon Quest, and also Awashi is finally going to be released in English. This and last year was a huge year for manga that were just being ignored by publishers for some reason. The most infamous example being, of course, Kingdom. Alright, to end this video, let's do one more manga. Alright, listen Viz, I know you just announced the Kingdom release, and I also know it's going to be a Viz signature series, but I feel like Kingdom at this point deserves to have a deluxe edition instead of a single volume signature series. Do you realize just how long it's going to take to catch up to the current Japanese release? Not to mention where it'll be at that point. It'll be a similar issue as the JoJo's deluxe editions. They are coming out faster than the Japanese releases, but not by much. And at the rate you're planning on going, some people will have literal families by the time they can have even the possibility to catch up with the Japanese releases. What I suggest Viz do is release a 2-in-1 deluxe edition for Kingdom, similar to what JoJo's has. People love the JoJo's releases, and I don't see a downside to doing releases similar to what JoJo's does. Simply a 2-in-1 deluxe edition. And that's it for this video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, then you'll probably like the Viz video, which you can see on screen now, which I mentioned many times during this video. Anyways, once again, I hope you enjoyed and hope to see you next time. See ya!